Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we are playing with the new Tati Beauty Blendiful. So let me get mine out here. Yay! I'm so excited to try these. I have been using them for about a week now. It's not a first impressions. I've been trying to play with them and see what works best with them and what doesn't. There is a learning curve on these, I believe. So I'm definitely excited that I got to take the last few days and kind of just see how they work and see what works best and what I like. Without further ado, let's get playing. So I should say that my skin is normal to dry. In the winter, I'm really combating dry skin. That being said, I use a lot of skincare, so my face is ready to go as far as my skincare products, and that includes sunblock. So let's get started with primer. I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Primer, which I realize isn't the most hydrating thing in the world, but it's been working for me. Because even though, like I said, I have normal to dry skin, it's, I use a lot of different skincare products to kind of keep my skin moist. I don't know. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of spread that around. And I don't use too much of this product. At first I had made the mistake of doing that and didn't like the results, especially with the Blendiful. Not being able to feel how much product I was putting on didn't really work for me. So I have been using the Blendiful. This is not a first impressions, and I've, learned some things along the way. There's definitely a learning curve on the product. It's not, immediately you're gonna know how to use it right out of the package. Okay, next steps, we are going to, I have some blemishes right now, so I'm gonna try to touch up those as best that I can. I never end up getting like this flawless coverage because I'm battling hyperpigmentation and just some trauma with the skin. Like, I don't have acne too often, but when I do, I always get scars. So there's always some trauma that goes along with it. Things are rolling. Okay, so I'm using a color correction stick from e.l.f. I should have probably mentioned that ahead of time, but I am going to set that a little bit. So I'm gonna put a little powder because I feel like once I put the liquid or cream products on top of it, it spreads around if I don't set it. So I'm actually gonna take the little Blendiful here. I'm also using the I already opened it here, but the Jeffree Star Cosmetics, the powder in beige. Okay, so those are relatively set. I hope that helps us get more of a flawless base, but we shall see. Okay, so next up for foundation today, and this is a combo that sometimes I've been using just recently because I normally use this as the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, and I absolutely love this stuff. And this was more of my summer color, and for winter, it's kind of just a tad bit dark, so I've been mixing it with the Healthy Foundation. This one is in shade, I guess, MC1 or PF10033, fancy title. And then in this one, the Maybelline, I'm using 220 Natural Beige. So I am going to combine those two on the face just by dotting them on real quick. I'm gonna take this top, I should say that, this little tip right here. And at first I was folding this in, kind of like that, but I found that was kind of unnecessary when you're spreading such a big surface. It's not like you're contouring right now with it, so no need to fold in a taco. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of concealer under my eyes, which I do most of the time, not every single day. There are some days that I don't use concealer because I'm okay, I feel like, without it. Meaning I'm not necessarily combating too dark of an under eye, probably because I'm a little bit more medium skin tone. Let's get started blending in this concealer. Okay, so that blended out really nicely. I should mention that I'm using the same side as I used for the foundation. I feel like when it's concealer, when it's just a lighter color in general, you're okay to do that. So as long as you're going from dark to light, it's a non-event. So I think that looks really nice. And I will say what I like about this is when I do the concealer under my eyes, I never run the risk of getting product into my eye. I wear contacts, so it can be an issue sometimes with the beauty sponge or a brush even. So this gives me a lot of control when I'm doing my under eye. So let's move on to powder. Again, I am using the same powder, the beige, that we used earlier for the Jeffree Star Cosmetics in the color beige. All right, so I'm gonna take just a little bit of product here. I like to do my face in sections, so give or take, I use a little bit like this, and then I do my face in quadrants. Is that weird? Like I do one section and then, I don't know. But here we go. So I'm gonna tap my sponge in like that. I am gonna use a different side, obviously, and then I'm just gonna tap that on the face here. Ooh, you know what? I should probably do my under eye first. I don't know what I was thinking. I am going to pinch this, or like this. Still use the powder side, but I'm gonna pinch it like a taco and kind of do that. Now the face is powdered. I feel like that's looking pretty good. Let me just double check in my mirror here. I should mention that I'm still seeing stuff on my face as far as hyperpigmentation. I'm seeing like my blemishes. I am okay with skin looking like skin. Unfortunately, I have this like blemish on like my face right now, and I'm super sad that I am filming this with that, but it's okay. I'm gonna move on. So we're gonna move on to bronzer and blush. So let me go ahead and do a taco. For bronzer, I am going to be using the Tarte Pro Go palette. The shade that I am using is Backstage. It's this one right here. So I'm gonna fold that up, and then you can see the product right there. So that's kind of really light coverage there. Or I don't know, not light coverage, but not as built up as I would like. So I'm gonna tap in again. So I'm gonna continue on with the rest of the face. I will say that takes longer than typical with brushes. I do like putting on my bronzer with brushes, not blushes, with brushes, especially this Scott Barnes brush. I don't know what, the number 64. This thing is so good. I love it so much. I'm pretty much done with bronzer. I am gonna move on to blush. For the blush, I am going to use this little guy here. I feel like it's been really working well with blush. It's just the way it lays. I don't like doing the whole taco thing with blush. I feel like this is a better application, and I can kind of put my fingers through it like this and then just kind of tap it on, and it works well. I know that you guys have been seeing that the density of this one is different. I also think the fibers are different, and maybe that's just because I'm not really using cream or liquid products with this, that the fibers haven't laid down in the same type of way. So I'll kind of show you the difference here if you can see it. I know this is a kind of a darker color here, but like these I feel like the fibers are longer and tend to lie more flat. And then this one, the fibers are shorter. So for whatever reason, I feel like it works really well with blush. So we're gonna move on doing that. I'm also using the Butter Blush from Physicians Formula in Saucy Mauve. So today, I actually think that I am not going to highlight there. I might use a little bit of highlight from this palette in the shade A-Lister. It's this one right here. Again, love this. I'm gonna take the mini Blendiful and just the little point of it here, just go ever so slightly with a little bit of product. I actually like putting a little bit of highlighter here and on the tip of my nose. I typically don't go down the bridge of my nose as of lately. I just do it here, here, and the cupid's bow. And then usually the high, areas on the cheekbones, I definitely do not highlight here because I have fine lines and wrinkles. So that just looks terrible. So now I'm going to use this Make It Last setting spray from Milani, 16-hour wear. I love this stuff. It smells great to me. I know there's some people don't like fragrance. I typically do. How many times can I say typically? Anyway, I like fragrance some of the time. A lot of the time I do. But this one, I like the sprayer on it. It gives a nice fine mist. And then also I do like the smell. It smells a little to me like hairspray, but I'm probably not selling it by saying that it smells like hairspray. Who wants to spray hairspray on their face? But it just smells good. Make my funny face for setting spray, and then I'm gonna use this fan here. I'm gonna finish the rest of the face off camera because I'm not using the Blendiful to finish the rest of my face. I'm also gonna show you how I wash my new Blendifuls here, how I get the best results and what works best for me. All right guys, we're in my guest bathroom now. We've got the Blendiful here. I didn't use any cream products with this. This one doesn't even really look dirty, but we're gonna wash them both just so that you guys can see here. What I've noticed is there actually is better ways to clean this, I should say. I normally with my brushes use this Daiso, I don't know if you guys seen this, but Daiso sponge and brush cleaner, and it works great on my brushes, but it did not work on the Blendiful. Go figure, I did not see that one coming. So I'm gonna get the water on here, and just to show you guys what happens, I'm gonna do that here. Let's see. Okay, so I've just put on a dollop here of, let me not waste this water. And I'm gonna try to rub it together. So normally this stuff just takes off the gunk on my brushes almost instantly, but as you can see, it's not doing much of anything. I can even put some more on if you guys, but that is like a generous helping. Like, it should remove stuff, but it doesn't. It's kind of crazy. So at first I thought that was gonna be somewhat problematic, but I have figured out another way in time. So the next step is to use a little bit of soap, and I'm just gonna rub this, oh, my mistake, my bad. Here we go. I'm just gonna rub this on a little bit of soap here. And as you can see, it definitely makes more of an impact there. And then sometimes I try this, like having some friction with my hand here. And it definitely, let's rinse this off. It definitely made some headway. You can see in the sink some product came off there, but it's still not super, super clean. You would think, oh, can you guys see that? You would think that it would be a little bit cleaner. And then I thought, gosh, I'm gonna have to use a lot of soap to clean this, and that doesn't seem right. Okay, so I'm gonna wet this again. I'm gonna get the soap, and I'm going to rub this on here. Hold on. Stick with me, it gets better. So I'm gonna get a generous helping of soap on there. I'm gonna wet this other little sponge here, and what I found works best is to rub these two together and kind of work the soap up into a lather. And as you can see, I don't know what it is, but it just came almost right off instantly. But when I use my hand, I'm just assuming it's because of the fibers rubbing against each other. It's knocking the gunk out of there. But look at that. That was almost instantly. So the best way that I found is soap, and just whatever soap you have on hand. I've only used the bar of soap, not the liquid soap, but I imagine it might be like the brush cleaner from Daiso, and just rub it together, both of them. And then let's rinse them out. Okay, almost done here. So this one definitely all the way clean, but, oh, sorry, can't see that. This one definitely all the way clean. It just needs to dry. This one, almost perfect, almost perfect. So as you can see, it's for the most part clean. I do see a little bit of product up there, nothing a good second washing, a little bit of a rub down, and that's really mainly where our foundation was, so it stands to reason that that would be the hardest part to get out. But as soon as I used the bar of soap and rubbed it against each other, that seemed to do the trick. So I'm gonna let these dry for about 3 hours and it'll be all good. All right, we're back. Brows are done, eyes are done, lips, everything. I did use the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette. I love that palette, really easy to work with. So I used it for a quick, simple look on the eyes. Don't judge me by my brows. I had the hardest time with them today for whatever reason. So I'm not really happy with them, but I just had to move on. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're excited to see what's coming next, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment down below. Thanks guys, see you soon.